Wir sind hier bei dem Protest in Orlando gegen Lula, dem aktuellen Präsidenten, der das Land in eine Diktatur geführt hat, unter der Herrschaft von De Moraes, dem Supreme Court Judge, der Ankläger, Richter und Henker zugleich ist und die Opposition versucht zu unterdrücken, zum Schweigen zu bringen. Er hat es versucht mit der Sperrung von X. X ist nun wieder zurück in Brasilien und am 16. März, morgen, heute ist der 15. März, ist in Rio de Janeiro der größte Protest, um Lula aus dem Amt zu bekommen. Und hier in Orlando sind die ganzen Brasilianer, die nicht mehr nach Brasilien können, speziell Alan dos Santos, und wir werden ihn kurz fragen, was in Brasilien alles so passiert und wie weit Brasilien ist, eine Diktatur zu sein und die Freiheit endgültig zu verlieren. Hi Alan, so you are one of the most wanted people for De Moraes in Brazil. That's true, yes. And can you tell us a little bit about why do you think tomorrow is one of the most important days in Brazil?
Vicky, thank you so much for giving me a voice to explain to the world what is happening in Brazil. Right now, what they are trying to portray is that Bolsonaro has no support anymore from his own people. Kind of trying to validate the election that was stolen. So, of course, tomorrow is nothing to do about election, but it's to do about amnesty. Bolsonaro is working at the Congress like a lobby, talking to the congressman in there, explaining the importance to amnesty all these people, including me, for example, that have been persecuted by the Moraes without any rule of law, not even a drop of it. So we are facing a very hard time in Brazil. You know very well, the judiciary dictatorship, it's very hard because you can, in our republic, in America too, but specifically in Brazil, once the dictatorship comes from the judiciary, you have no place to appeal. There's no executive power that can do something. The legislative can do. They can start a process to start to impeach some of the judges, mainly Alexandre de Moraes. But the point is, all these senators, they somehow have a lot of process at the Supreme Court. A lot of accusations, a lot of things that have been investigated. Some of them are true, some are not. But it's up to the judiciary to decide what a senator can do or talk. Otherwise, this senator will not be at the Senate anymore. So they are afraid to lose their job, their power, and that's why the judiciary power in Brazil controls them so strongly. And what Jair Bolsonaro is trying to explain to them is the fact that if we do not stop this cruelty against mothers, families, fathers, and people that are already died, as you mentioned, about Clezão and his wife, if we do not stop it, everything will just get worse, and we don't want to see what is coming after that. So it's important for Brazil to go tomorrow at Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro to protest, asking for amnesty, showing to the politicians that Bolsonaro still has his own supporter and Brazil is still supporting him. That's very important. And I hope the crowd will be huge tomorrow, and I hope that can change the Congress mind and heart. I know they have a stone heart, but let us see if the pressure of the people can change that. I do believe so. It needs to be huge, very strong, and that's going to happen.
Do you think that there will be some pressure from foreign countries, like we had at CPAC, Donald J. Trump saying that he stands behind Jair Bolsonaro? He said that directly to Eduardo Bolsonaro, who was attending this event. So do you think there will be a lot of pressure from the side of America and other countries in the world?
I do believe so. I do believe the government of the United States, the actual government of the United States, mainly Trump administration, will do whatever it takes and whatever it's necessary to show to Brazilian authority they cannot touch the U.S. sovereignty. And this is what de Moraes is doing right now.
He's tried this with X.
Exactly. So he's trying to censor my account on Truth Social and Rumble. That's why both companies sued him in Florida. And he's clearly attacking the U.S. sovereignty. What de Moraes is doing is by far something that you resolve in a conversation or a diplomacy and so forth. So I do believe sanctions and other things that the United States can do will actually happen towards Brazil issue. And I do believe that that is not something predictable. Why do I say predictable? Because de Moraes doesn't know how many people will still support him if Brazil will be totally isolated from all the first world countries. So he can kind of believe that being by its side with China is enough, but he cannot say that in the name of all entrepreneurs in Brazil, businessmen and so forth. So I do believe that is going to be a huge thing, and it's going to change his decision.
Nós preparamos agora recentemente vídeo para falar do caso da Débora, mas são tantos que nós precisamos ter essa consciência. Hoje, infelizmente, o Brasil finge viver.
You are a YouTuber from Brazil, and coming out of the media field, do you think there is a lack of freedom of speech in Brazil right now?
Yes, I think the main media, the mainstream Brazil, they are doing a job to take our content off the internet. So that's why I'm here in the United States now. I lost my page on Facebook in the day of the election, the last election of Jair Bolsonaro, on Facebook with like 500,000 subscribers on Facebook. And that's what they are trying to do. They are trying to take everything that we say because they are afraid. They are afraid the people to know the truth because the internet gave power to the people. So that's the problem. That's why they are trying to do this with the Brazilian people right now.
Yeah, and then you have the Twitter files which got published in May, where there were this hearing even in DC, where Congresswoman Salazar holded up the picture from de Moraes.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit, having this protest tomorrow in Rio de Janeiro, do you think that this will be the last stand of the Brazilian people, that from now on there will happen a change, or do you think they're still not suffering enough? Because it's kind of like you had the January of 8, and then the persecution of all the opposition, then you being cancelled. So do you think this is enough for the Brazilian people to say now is enough?
I think tomorrow will be the big day for Brazilian people, but I don't think tomorrow will be the last one because the things is getting better, but we need some time more to get a result of what we are doing now. And I think because Donald Trump was elected here in this year 2025, he will will help us with that. But Brazilian people tomorrow will show to the world the crowd, the big crowd, that Brazilian people is now trying to, I don't know how can I say that, but we are trying to show the world our power, because only one judge to silence everyone in Brazil, it cannot happen. So I think tomorrow will be the big day, but not the last one.
So do you hope that the America and under Trump will help Brazil and getting maybe even Jair Bolsonaro back on the ballot? Because there's right now the fight that he's maybe not even allowed to run for president next year.
I think Donald Trump will help Brazil, but I don't think that Bolsonaro will be available to run the next election, because the Supreme Court, the Brazilian Supreme Court, is doing everything to take him off the scene. So I don't think he will run the next election, but I think the Brazilian people is the only people that can help Brazil. Donald Trump can say whatever he wants. He can try to help us, but the power is from the people. It's not from another president. I think that's what I think.
Das war's aus Orlando von dem Protest am 15. März gegen Lula oder für die Amtsenthebung von Lula in Brasilien. Und ja, wir können nur hoffen, dass die Brasilianer weiterhin kämpfen werden für ihre Freiheit, für ihre Redefreiheit und dass wir in Deutschland uns ein Beispiel nehmen am Patriotismus in Brasilien, aber auch inwieweit wir die Regierung kommen lassen wollen und unsere Freiheiten, besonders die Redefreiheit, uns wegnehmen zu lassen.
Anistia já! Anistia já!